Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Will Kelly and I'm with Military Lawn Cuts, and in today's video we're talking about the 7 steps to start your lawn care and lawn mowing business today in 2024. These are the proven steps on how to get started, because these are the exact steps that I took when I first started my lawn mowing business. Now, rewind 5 years ago, my wife and I were like, hey, we want to start a business. And I had a little kind of side hustle growing up. When I first started, my dad helped me out. He gave me a mower, and basically we just got things started. These are the proven steps that we used. And now fast forward today, we have 2 lawn care companies. We're on pace this year to do about $800,000 in revenue. We've got about 13 employees that work for us. Hopefully this will be very valuable to you guys, and I promise you by the end of this, you'll know exactly to the T, exactly the steps that we use to get to where we're at today. To start off here, the very first step that I would highly recommend, if you're just getting started and you're like, well, I don't even know where or how to start. This is what we did. Jumped on Facebook Marketplace. We bought a $30 printer. Hopefully you guys have a printer at your house. We basically printed off paper flyers. The reason we did this is because we didn't have a lot of money. When you're first starting, I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to go spend on door hangers or marketing or EDDM or Google ads and all that stuff. All I had was like probably $50 in the bank. Like, if that, okay? We just got a printer that already had ink. It was, I think, now that I think about it, I think it was a $25 printer that we found on Facebook Marketplace. And we got it home, we got some paper, and we started printing off flyers. Now, what did we put on them? Just our name, the services that we offered, and our phone number. And so from there, what we did is we handed out about 100 flyers every day. It's not about going out there and doing 1,000 flyers in one day and then you being sore for the next 3 days. It's about consistency, all right? It doesn't matter how you start or when you start. It's just about being consistent with it. So if you have those flyers, just do 100 a day, do them all week, 100 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whether you're working a job, not working a job, just set that goal and do 100 pieces of paper and literally just go up to the door, slide it halfway in and go to the next one. You don't even need to ring the doorbell. If you're nervous or scared to talk to customers like that, you don't even need to do that. Just slip it in, keep moving forward. If you can't slip it in, put it under the mat, keep going. What I want to also mention on this when you're doing these is you don't want to be going like way far from where you're at. Drop a location pin on where you live and start handing these flyers out literally within walking distance. If you're like us, we didn't have a truck in the beginning. I couldn't drive 10, 15 minutes to go mow this guy's lawn. I needed to find customers within a half-mile radius of my house that I lived in, and that's what we did. So focus on the very, very close areas. All right, number 2, once you do start to get a couple of customers, it's like, okay, now we need to do the work. Well, again, if you're like me, I didn't have the tools. So how do we get that? Well, we basically use Facebook Marketplace and bought used equipment. And so we wanted to make sure that, again, we didn't have a lot of money. We just jumped on Facebook Marketplace. We got a couple of customers. We had a mower at our house that we were kind of using, but we're like, you know, we kind of need to upgrade. I found a mower on Facebook Marketplace. It was a residential one from probably Home Depot that the guy bought for like $200. He was selling it to me for $100. It was used. I met him at a gas station near the house and I gave him $100 cash for it, and we bought a residential mower. That's not the best piece of equipment to use long term, but when you're just getting started, you gotta get scrappy with this stuff. So don't be spending a lot of money. Also, I had somebody tell me the other day that they couldn't get started because they didn't have the money. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You know how to get around that if you don't have any money? You go out, you put paper flyers out. If you don't have a printer, ask your neighbor to print out 100 of them. You guys could figure out ways to get customers literally for free. Get those paper flyers and then go out there and sell some jobs. Instead of maybe selling a mowing job, sell a flower bed cleanup. Like, knock on the door maybe and be like, look, your bushes are overgrown and you have weeds in the flower bed. In your mind, be like, okay, how long do I think this is gonna take? You probably have no idea. You're gonna underbid yourself. It's okay. Just be like, yeah, this is gonna be $200, right? Just come up with a number, figure it out. You're gonna fall flat on your face at the beginning, but it's okay. And then you know what? Your customer says, sure, I'll do it for $200. And then you say, okay, great, I need a 50% deposit to secure your spot on our schedule. Most of the time, this should be okay with that, right? Also, get a polo, kind of look a little bit more professional, right? I mean, hopefully you got a polo at the house. Do that, take the $100, and then go buy your rake or your garden hoe or your mulch that you need to install. Like, use the customer's money as a deposit to go buy your equipment or buy $100 more off of Facebook Marketplace, right? That's how you get scrappy and get started. Buy the used equipment. Don't do that as you grow and scale, but this is like the beginning part, all right? So, number 3, the next goal is to get 25 recurring customers. Recurring is the big key here, all right? The one-time flower bed cleanups for $200, $300, $400, they're nice, but they're not recurring. You want to build a business that you don't have to go and sell every single year. You want to capture recurring services. What is recurring services? That could be mowing. That could be fertilizing. That could be regularly trimming bushes, regularly de-weeding beds. Hey customer, I'm gonna come once a month and clean your beds out. It's gonna be $50 a month. Figure out a price that you feel is adequate. And if you don't know, a good rule of thumb is $1 a minute. Just to get started, $1 a minute. You should at least be making $60 if you're doing hard labor for 60 minutes. Get that 25 recurring customers. How? We're going to drive these paper flyers constantly over and over and over and over again. Do some door knocking. See if you can get, schmooze them in on a Saturday when you know that most people are home. Do everything you can to get to 25 customers. Now, at this point, you're basically doing this part-time on the side, okay? So, you're just going to kind of keep doing what you're doing here. If you need more equipment, you buy it used off Facebook Marketplace to get you that 25 customers. Now, number 4, now that you're making a little bit of money, because to be honest, I don't have my phone on me, but if you're mowing these customers either weekly or bi-weekly, you're making a little bit of decent money here, right? Probably over 10 grand, depending on when you actually pick these customers up. If it was at the beginning of the season and you have 25 customers all year for the seasonality, you're probably making some pretty good money, a few $1,000s, okay? So, now we're starting to get somewhat of a business going here, okay? And so number 4 is going to be really building an online presence. Now that we have established somewhat of a business here, at least a part-time business, build an online presence. I see so many people that are like, oh, we got to get our website set up. We got to get our Facebook page set up. We got to get our Yelp page set up. But guess what? They don't even have any customers. Get the customers first before you build the online presence. Allow the online presence to catapult you to 75 plus customers down the road. This is a long-term play, all right? The short-term play is to get paper flyers and just get customers today, right now. That's what we're doing. When you get to this point and you're starting to make a few $1,000s for the year, $8, $10, $12, $15,000, now we want to start to build an online presence. Now, what does that mean? That means, I'm going to put this in blue. So we're going to do our Google My Business. This is very important for online presence. We're also going to do a website. Now, we like using Wix because it's very simple and easy. Guess who created our website? Me. Guess who doesn't have any website education or training? Me. You know what I did? I went on YouTube University and I watched videos on how to build a Wix website. It took me a few weeks and I got it up and running, and it doesn't need to be fancy. One page is good to get started. It doesn't need 20, 25 plus pages and try to have the best SEO and all this stuff. Just get started, right? Just get one page, just like the flyer. What you do, the services you offer, a few pictures, and your phone number. That's all you need to get started. The last thing would definitely be a Facebook, and you also want to do Yelp. I would recommend, again, watching YouTube University, how to build an online presence will definitely help you out and get you rocking and rolling. Now, number 5, now that we have our 25 customers and we're building out our online presence, again, I'm assuming that you may not have a truck at this point. And if you do, it's probably not vinyl. But to be honest, we probably did not get our truck until we were around that 25 customers. I vividly remember walking to our customers' properties with an electrical blower cord, and sometimes I would plug it in on their front porch and it wouldn't even work. And I'm like, okay, now I gotta sweep it. Like, I did what I needed to do, bought used equipment, grinded at the beginning to get to where we're at today. So, we're going to purchase a truck. Now, this will allow you to expand your territory and not be consolidated within a half mile of you. So that way you can get more customers, right? That's the goal. Purchase truck. Now, when you purchase the truck, I see so many people that don't have vinyl stickers or letterings on their truck. This is huge. Okay, once you put vinyl, definitely want to get somewhat of a logo. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. Get your at least phone number on the truck. Put your logo on the doors. Put the phone number along the backside. So that way, when you're out mowing these 25 customers' lawns, the neighbor can look out the door, take a picture of your truck, and call you. That's what's going to unlock you to get double and triple the amount of customers. What I also like about this is it's a one-time cost. And it's literally your moving billboard for the next 3 to 4 years, however long that logo lasts. And it's typically only a couple $100, you know, depending on your area, $200, $300, $400. You got yourself some vinyl logos on your truck. Now, what I want to mention here is all of this reinvesting from what we did. I didn't come out of my pocket because I didn't have a lot of money to just like spend all this money on buying a truck, buying vinyl stickers, all this stuff, building a Wix website, paying somebody to do all that. I didn't do that. What I did was once we started making money, this $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, I then took that money and bought a truck. I then took that money and spent $400. I let the customers that we're servicing pay for the new equipment instead of always buying used on Facebook Marketplace. I like being scrappy. That's just how I like to do it, like in the beginning. Number 6 is going to be, and before I jump into this, I want to mention something to you. Notice that all of these are about action, getting customers, building an online presence, getting the equipment to actually do work. We haven't even talked about getting set up with your LLC. Why? It's not necessary unless you have a business. You don't have a business or a concept or a proof of concept that you know works yet until you've proven it. So now we're going to get into creating an LLC. If you're like me, this is not necessarily business advice generally for everybody, but I didn't have the knowledge I have today about how to build a business. I didn't have the assets that I have today about having to separate my LLC so that way we could be protected for legal purposes and all that stuff. Look, all I knew was how do I get customers and how do I get this thing started? When you start to put I'm going backtrack a little bit here. When you put those vinyl stickers on your truck, it's at that moment, there's no turning back. That was the moment for me where I was like, oh snap, we're going in all in. Why? Because it's gonna look real funny when I'm driving around in a military lawn cuts truck, and then all of a sudden next year I'm like, oh yeah, we're not doing lawn care anymore. We put the stickers on the truck. It's at that moment where you're like, I'm going all in, and we start to transition into more of a full-time business. So number 7, really to finish this off, the next goal after you've created the LLC, you're making money, you've got your truck, it's logoed, you're getting customers probably left, over, and right. You're still doing paper flyers. Don't forget about these. You're still on your online presence. Again, don't forget about these. Get 75 customers is the new goal. Why 75? Because when you get to 75, and again, I want to stress this is recurring customers, because when you get to 75 recurring customers, whether you're doing small residential or you're doing larger zero-turn properties, you now have a full-time business. It's still a job because it's you yourself and maybe a helper, but you are now full-time in your business. And so this is a very exciting time because if you're, just doing this part-time or maybe you're still working a job, it's at this moment that you can step away from your job and really go 2 feet in. Now be careful because timing matters on this. You probably don't want to do this in the fall time frame. Go all in if you just hit 75 customers, especially if you've got, family to feed at home and stuff like that and like a lot of bills. Obviously, we're in a seasonality business. If you're going into the next spring rush with 75 customers, you are ready to rock and roll and hopefully double that in the springtime. All that to say, these are the 7 steps that we literally did to start our business. I would recommend it in this order. There's a lot of people out there that will recommend it in other orders. People will say, you got to get your LLC first, or you got to build a website first. And I don't believe that because that's not what we did. This is exactly the blueprint that we did. We now have 2 locations. We're going to be doing $800,000 in revenue. We have 6 trucks that go out, and it's not anything to say that to brag to you. It's to say that you can do it and you have the ability to do it. If you follow these steps and you reach out to people that are where you want to be, you can absolutely accomplish anything you want in life. And hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, hit that like button and we'll see you in the next video.